In today's Leeds news, Leeds to sue Everton, Liverpool ready 50 million bid, Gnonto Rodon swap, and Wober keeping an eye on Leeds. Morning folks, Jer here on the 20th of November with your Leeds United news. First things first, just to start off, I just want to say a massive thank you to everybody who has subscribed to this channel or watched any of the content. We hit 20,000 subscribers today and I'm over the moon. I can't thank everybody enough for the support in this. So we'll crack on, we'll get on with the news, and I'll start off with Leeds are still planning on suing Everton. There you go. Also, my voice sounds a bit weird. I've been sick all weekend again, so it's the cough has wrecked my voice, but we'll get through this. We'll be fine. So yeah, Leeds to sue Everton. We've talked about this before. We've covered this ground before, but there's some new information that's come out over the course of the weekend. Following Everton's guilty verdict in relation to their financial fair play violations, the next question on everybody's mind was, what would Leeds, Burnley and Leicester do, and would they follow through on their threat to sue Everton for in the region of £100 million each, a combined £300 million lawsuit? Now, according to Sky Sports and the Daily Mail, all three clubs have confirmed that they will go ahead and plan with their intention to sue Everton for £100 million each. The Mail stated that senior figures at these clubs held talks over the weekend to reaffirm plans to move forward with this after the Premier League confirmed the sanctions against Everton. Everton have been deducted 10 points so far already. That could increase, and I'll get into that in a second. I put them second bottom, but bearing in mind what is down there and the points they're picking up this season, they're still only 2 points from safety. So that 10-point deduction probably won't be enough to relegate Everton. They should be okay. They should be enough to push on. However, the three clubs feel that they've got a stronger case now than they did before on the back of the Premier League's guilty verdict. Everton do plan on appealing that, and the Premier League have confirmed that appeal will be heard this year. And they've also confirmed that the legal case against Everton with these three clubs will also be heard before the end of the season this year. What that means though, and there's two areas to keep an eye on here, Everton's potential new owners, 777 Partners, have got a caveat in their deal that states that should the legal case be successful against the club in the compensation, that they will be able to walk away from their plan to buy out Everton and will move then from being a potential owner to being a potential creditor, which means that they would be owed the 20 million a month they're currently putting into Everton, which the plan was to convert that into equity should the buyout go through. They have no plan on paying a legacy debt of this amount of money, they've said. So what would happen there is then they would walk away from takeover deal. Everton would be in a situation where they cannot afford to repay the 300 million in compensation, should that be found to be the case, in which case then they would be in a situation where administration would have to happen for them, and they would be docked an automatic 9 points as well, which probably would at that point put them down. Although again, being that Sheffield United, Luton and Burnley are so poor this year, they'd probably be alright still, but it's a big case. There's a lot going on. There was a lawyer recently said Leeds and Burnley didn't have any case at all, but now apparently a high-ranking QC has said that he feels that they've all got a very strong case for compensation. The point of this is, and people are making points as to why Leeds went down. The point isn't that Leeds got relegated second from bottom, and it doesn't really matter. The point is that Everton broke the financial fair play rules, and that caused stress on other clubs for several years here. So it's in a situation where they were spending money on players they shouldn't have been spending money on. They didn't have that money to spend, and they spent it. They broke the rules, and now there's a punishment there. And Leeds, where you could say there was mitigating circumstances last season that caused pressure on Leeds, knowing that there was 3 spots where if there was only 2 it might have changed the conversation slightly, taking a bit of pressure off, knowing there's only one place that they could go down in. So there's a lot of aspects to it outside of the simple fact of Leeds got relegated. They broke the rules, and that's the way it is. Jamie Carragher's been banging on an awful lot about how harsh this punishment is, because his rhetoric is, well, why have Manchester City not been punished yet? They have 119 different allegations against them that will be heard at some point. That doesn't mean Everton didn't break the rules as well. There's as much less as one case, and there you go. So that's that. So there's a lot of mess, a lot of noise in this as well. But yeah, that's the situation that so far. We'll see how that goes. Moving on, a couple of weeks ago, the rumour came out about Archie Gray and the potential of a £50 million bid from Everton for the player. Now, according to the Daily Mail, they're stating that Liverpool are in the middle of preparing that deal and a package to go to Leeds for a bid for Archie Gray. Now, what it also says is that Leeds are not in a position where they consider selling the player, but that a stupid amount of money might tempt Leeds. Frank McAvenny in Scotland has said Leeds should take the money and run. I don't agree with him. I think £50 million right now for a player of Archie's standard, given the way transfer fees have been going over the last couple of years, he continues to play at the rate that he's playing at, he'd be worth an awful lot more than 50 million in a few years' time. The Mail also say that Leeds are preparing a new contract offer for Archie Gray. He is on his first contract that he signed when he was 17. They can now offer a much bigger contract to him when he turns 18 and a longer contract instead of the 2 years that they had to offer originally. Team Talk are also saying that they don't expect any offer in January. They think it'd be more than likely a summer move, if any move at all. So, moving on, let's talk about the Willie Gnonto, Joe Rodon situation. A story has come out today from Team Talk. So the usual things when it comes to Team Talk, it's a pinch of salt. They're more missed than hit. But according to Team Talk, Leeds may be presented with an opportunity to make the Joe Rodon move permanent in January. There's a lot of calls for this. The package and the style of the package might not impress people too much, and I don't really see it going anywhere, but they're saying that Ange Postecoglou is keen on a straight swap for Joe Rodon for Willie Gnonto. It goes on to say that as far as Ange Postecoglou is concerned, there's no future for Joe Rodon at Tottenham, that he actually rejected the opportunity of putting a recall clause in the contract when he was loaned out to Leeds, and that Spurs will be willing to see the player go. Spurs have given Leeds a fee of £20 million for the player if they want to buy him now. The fee in the summer was valued at $15 million. Leeds said no to that and subsequently got him on loan. They're now saying $20 million. Given that Leeds now value Willie Gnonto above $25 million, it would have to be a case of Joe Rodon plus 10 or 15 million and Willie Gnonto for the, that would have for Willie Gnonto. Sorry, that would have to be the deal. The Daily Mail suggest that Rodon and Leeds probably won't part ways in January. But again, it could be something that they look towards the end of the season. Ange Postecoglou said to be very, very keen on a straight swap for the players. But again, given the finances involved and the fees that Leeds, value Willie Gnonto at above 25 million, Spurs value Rodon at above 20 million. There's still a money mismatch there. So I have to say, I don't think there's an awful lot in that. If I'm being very honest, I really just think it's paper talk now at this stage. Willie Gnonto's an easy article. So there's that. And then moving on today to the final story of the day, and this one is in relation to Max Wober. Speaking on international duty, Max Wober has discussed his situation at Leeds United and the possibility of a return. Wober is on a straight loan to Gladbach, and that loan will again continue next season should Leeds not get promoted. However, if Leeds do get promoted, all the loan players that are out on loan would be coming back to Leeds United, and Leeds would decide what they wanted to do with them. After that, the loans would now become null and void. Wober has been talking about Leeds, and he said that he has been keeping an eye on Leeds and Daniel Farke's style. He says Leeds are playing cool football, and he says it's fun to watch, and if they carry on the way they're going, that they will be promoted. And he said at that point it's out of my hands. So there's a possibility that Max Wober is maybe leaving the door open for a return talking up the playing style of Daniel Farke's side, and Leeds, how well Leeds are doing so far this season. So again, I'll say the same thing about the players that are trying to make moves to come back. Brendan Aronson the same. I don't necessarily think it's all in their hands. I think the fan reaction will have an awful lot to do with that. I think also how they left the club, how Daniel Farke's viewed it, how Angus Kinnear's viewed it, and how Parag Marate's viewed it will come into play here as well. I don't think any of these players will walk back into this team at all. It's been said repeatedly that this team we have this year is probably a better side than we had last year. But it'll be interesting to see what happens there. But Max Wober also keeping the door open. Should be said that Mönchengladbach are very keen on making his move permanent in January, and there's a possibility of that even happening. So there's still an awful lot of ground to cover between Gladbach, Max Wober, Leeds United, and whatever happens next season. So we'll have to wait and see. Folks, that's going to be it for me today. Just again, a massive thank you to everybody who supported the channel, who's liked videos. And again, I always say, if you agree or disagree, it doesn't really matter. It's all the same. Opinions are opinions, and we've all got them. So I can't thank everyone enough for watching and supporting this channel. It means a huge amount to me. So thank you. Have a great day, and I will see you tomorrow morning for more Leeds news. Bye.